Hi guys, Wild Crib here. So, this is not going to be professional by any way, it's literally fly by the seat and pants. I just thought I've done streaming in other disciplines and I just fancy doing a couple of videos or video series kind of thing. Maybe an hour, a couple of hours a night. Maybe live, maybe not live. It might just be videos. There's going to be hardly any editing to the videos. It's literally just going to be, this is me talking. Don't expect any professionalism because there's not going to be any. That being said, I just come back to Eve. I've been away for potentially 18 months, maybe a bit longer. But like I said, there's going to be no real structure to it. It's just going to be what I've kind of learned in the past and what I'm going to learn doing this task. So I was just going to put a video series together and potentially come along with me. Do you know what I mean? Learn a bit. I'll learn a bit. Sure, I'm going to die doing it, but here we go. So I've seen a few videos. I've always watched YouTube videos with other creators doing certain tasks in Eve. I've done quite a bit of Abyss. I've lived in wormholes. I've lived in ISEC, nullsec, lowsec, all that kind of jazz. I saw a couple of creators doing like a nomad kind of vibe to wormholes, and wanted to see if I could do it myself. So we're going to aim for C3 wormholes, and be running sites, combat sites. I was going to do a fit that I could potentially run the data sites as well. It's going to be my main and my alt going in. And as you can see from the screen, it's the Sacrilege that I've chosen. Again, kind of a bastardized fit that I've seen on a few other videos. But yeah, we'll go into the fit. So as you can see, the Sacrilege is the Amar Assault Heavy Cruiser. It has bonuses to assault cruise missiles per level, and the Amar Cruiser gives you every missile's average assault missile damage 5% and 5% to all armor resists. I can't actually remember what I've got these skills to. I've got assault missiles to 4, which I would suggest. It just gives you that bit more DPS, and obviously Amar Cruiser to 5. So you are receiving 25% to all armor resists. You're receiving 25% to missile damage, every assault missile damage, from the Amar Cruiser skill. 7.5% max velocity, and 5% to launcher rate on the heavy assault cruise missile bonus. I would use 4. I would train it to 4 before undocking the ship if you're going to use it in this role. There are better ships out there. I have done this in a Tengu before. Not lived in a wormhole, but I have used the Tengu in C3s and it absolutely slaps. But it's a lot more expensive. Now this fit in Amar at this point in time to buy comes to 353 mil, 354 mil ish, depending on when you buy it. I will link the fit in the description of the video. So we have a Sisters core probe launcher with 8 core probes. They are sisters. It just gives you that base sensor boost. From memory, on a normal core probe launcher and a normal core probes, I think your base sensor is about 50, which you will be able to scan down with, but it will be a little bit harder. It's just for ease, really. My alt will be running a scanning ship. It's just obviously if I do get split up or a wormhole closes on me or something like that, I will be able to get both tunes out. Now the alt will be scanning down most of the wormholes. It's just there just in case of emergency. We are using several heavy assault missile 2s, and we are using Scourge Rage. Now the sites that I'm going to be doing are omni-tanked anyway, so you can literally pick whichever you want. I've just picked Scourge because that's what I had. I had quite a few of them laying about from running Tengu. The Rages are better for DPS. You will need to take along with you, if you are going to do this, you will need to take along Javelins, because the range on the Rages is 24k and it's not enough. You will have NPCs that will stay at 30k. So you will need the Javelins. Now 42k on these Javelins, the DPS does drop quite considerably. You're running 318 DPS from your missiles and 152 DPS from your drones. As you can see, the range is 42 kilometers. You will need range. You will need at least 36 kilometers range. The Rage is 24 kilometers, even with the booster, the range booster, the range script. It just jumps your DPS. As you can see, we're at 549 DPS, 152 on your drones. The drones are Hammerhead IIs, and they're putting out 152 DPS. They are at 54 kilometers. You could use those to potentially take out the long targets, but it will take you a long time. We are going to be using a Republic Fleet large cap battery. They do newt in these sites considerably, and some of the newts are triggers. Missile guidance computer with a range script to give us that range, and a missile guide computer with a precision script to give us a bit more, because we will be fighting frigates as well, frigates and cruisers. There is one battleship in the rooms that I'll be running. Afterburner II, you could bling this out a bit more, but it's more of a cheap run kind of thing. See what we can make, see what we can do. You will need it to sig tank to an extent. You will be getting webbed in these sites. It's just one of those. I've always run an Afterburner or micro warp drive. You don't get warp scrammed, I don't think. I can't quite remember. Like I said, I am doing this kind of off the bat. It's not going to be any kind of scripted thing. It's just going to be, here we go, this is what it is, let's just go do it. Reactive Hardener, that will adapt, obviously, to the incoming damage. The only caveat with that is if the damage changes, you will have to reset the module and it will have to rebuild itself back up to fill the holes in, as it were. A medium armor rep 2, you can bling that out again. It's just for the cheapness, and an ancillary rep. This does run with nanite repair paste, and it gives you a massive boost in repair. So the armor rep 2 is 423 every 9 seconds. The ancillary is 714 every 9 seconds with nanite repair. If we unload the nanite repair, it drops to 238. So it's a kind of a, you've got to carry enough nanite repair to keep it going. We're on an Air Assault cruiser. It's one of those, I've always said, or I've always felt that if you're using something that can use a certain module, use it. It is literally a get me out of shit module. As you can see, the resist is 71, 63, 79 and 89 across the armor. You click that and it's literally 90, your lowest is 90%, so that is bringing that damage incoming down a massive amount, and I think it lasts 9 seconds. So for them 9 seconds you are reducing a lot of damage that's incoming onto you. Let's load that back up. A Ballistic Control System 2, just to give you that bit extra. A Auxiliary Nano Pump to give you that extra rep from your armor reppers, and a Bayloading Accelerator to give you that bit of a boost to your launcher speed to give you more DPS. So with that being said, in the cargo hold we will be taking a tractor unit and an extra range script just in case. You won't need it with the Javelins per se, but if we unload that and put into script onto that, you're at 28k on your rages. So if you do come into PvP and you do need it, you can always swap that out, which isn't a bad thing particularly, but I do prefer the precision script, because it gives you that bit more application to what you're doing. So with that being said, that's the fit for the Sacrilege. we're going to see how it works. I've seen this work. People have got better skills than me. That being said, but we're going to use it and see what we can do with it. See if we can make some money with it. See if we can make some ISK with it. The aim of the game for me on this run is to take enough missiles to last me quite a while. I say nomadic, as in I would like to be able to stay in the wormhole space for the entirety of the experiment, as we'll call it. But I am also under the understanding, and I kind of get that I might need to jump out to reload with nanite repair paste or reload with missiles. There is a possibility of that, and it's not necessarily out of the rule book per se, because you can jump in and out of wormholes. My main aim is to see if I can survive in a wormhole for a week or more. So that's the main that will be on. And for the alt, as you can see, we are running a Helios covert ops. Now, 20% reduction in cloaking devices CPU requirements, so you can fit a covert cloaking ops. 10% per skill level on your covert up skill to core and combat probe strength. 10% reduction in time for your probe scans, so it'll take less time for your probes to actually scan. Galactic frigate bonus, 5% ship velocity while using cloaking devices, and 50% reduction in warp drive capacity need. It's not bad, but you are getting quite a considerable reduction when you're at level 5, and you will need level 5 to run a covert ops. The roll bonus, 10% to relic and data analyzer strength, convert covert ops, sino field generators, and it can cloak. Your cloak reactivation delay is only 5 seconds, opposed to I think it's a 20-second delay on a non-covert ops, which is useful if you're in PvP. Now, that being said, this ship's not going to be for PvP. It's literally going to be a scanner and potentially carry more nanite repair paste and more missiles for the main. It's going to be a scanning ship, primarily a scanning ship. If things go wrong, kind of thing, it will be cloaked up in the wormhole where I'm ratting, and potentially a loot grabber as well, maybe, possibly. So we're already loaded up with 8 probes, sister core probes again. As you can see on this one, we've got a base sensor strength of 114 points. I do have implants that give me bonuses to this as well, but then again, in the cargo hold, we've got a spare set of probes just in case. That may go up to two spare sets. So there's core probe launcher and as probes. We've got a covert ops cloaking device. We can warp about cloaked. We can stay cloaked up when logged back in the wormhole. Micro warp drive to get us across. A restrained micro warp drive. Potentially fit that with a Tech 2. It's just to keep it cheap. We have 2 pinpoint array 1s. Sheer fact I can't use Tech 2s. And we've got 2 range finding arrays. Tech 1, not Tech 2. And again, that's down to my skill level on the assault. I've got it to 4, I think I've got it to. Yeah, I've got it to 4. To use the Tech 2 variants, you need it to 5. And I don't have that skill. Not as of yet, anyway. We've got a nanofiber internal structure 2, an inertia stabilizer 2, and a warp core stab. In case we do get scrammed, we can get the ship out. On the rig side of things, we have a low friction nozzle joints, which gives you agility. There is a drawback to it. You lose armor amount, your armor, but again, this is not going to be a combat ship. It's literally just going to sit in the background, potentially loot grab, potentially just sit there and scan, or while I'm doing combat anomalies and sites, I can be scanning down other wormholes, finish that site, finish that wormhole, try and wipe the wormhole out, and then move on to the next. That is the aim of the game. We've got a CPU upgrade. Not necessarily need this right now, but I can't remember why I put that on, if I'm honest. Do we need that? We don't actually need that. I think that'll have been for another fit. So we could change that up. So we'll do that now. Hardware, rigs. scanning rigs, maybe? So we're going to have to look at these because I can't remember what they are. Data modules, we don't need that because we're not running a data module. Scan speed, we've got rigs for that. Relics, it's not going to help us out there. So we could put on see, they're running for data relic and data relic then. Scan speed. We can put a scan speed. We could do that. We could put... That will just reduce the time of the scans. Oh no, we don't want to do that because that's dropped as sensor base sensor strength. So we've dropped that off. What did we have on there before? Oh no, that is the rig we needed. Probe strength, ships scan probe strength. We did need that rig. So that is giving us that base strength of 114 points. And as you can see, like I said, this is kind of the seam of my pants kind of scenario. This is not scripted, it's kind of just recorded on the fly. And it is what it is. If you like it, I'd like to watch. If not, give us, do you know what I mean? It is what it is. So on the side of the mains rigs, we've already gone through loading bay accelerator and auxiliary pump. Now we are going to go out into space. We are going to, I've got a few systems in mind already that I will be trying to get into a C3 wormhole through. I may use other means to find a C3 wormhole. I do know a couple of ways in, potentially. And go try and find a wormhole. The scanning side of things may take a little bit longer than the actual content side. So we're going to do that. We're going to go jump in and see if we can find a few wormholes to rat and see if we can survive.